So the first step is that we are going to connect the solar charge controller to the battery bank. Now, this is the rule. When you are connecting your solar charge controller, don't connect the solar panels to the charge controller before connecting to the battery. Always connect the solar charge controller to the battery first before you connect your solar panel. Then when you want to disconnect the solar panel first before disconnecting the battery. Don't connect the panels first before, that is connecting the solar panels to the charge controller before connecting your battery bank to this charge controller. That can destroy the solar charge controller. It will destroy the internal circuits of the charge controller. So connect the charge controller to the battery first. The charge controller will sense the battery bank voltage. Then it will stabilize itself before you now connect your solar panels. So that is the first rule you need to know. If you mix it, you can destroy your charge controller. So we are going to do the first thing. But since we are also connecting this inverter to the battery bank, we are going to do the connection together. That is both the charge controller and the inverter. We'll connect them the same time to the battery bank. So we'll take the negative, the positive. We're going to connect them. This is the positive. So this is what we'll do. Inverters have their different setups. So always read the manufacturer manual to know how you can connect the inverter. You can properly connect the inverter so that you don't have issues. So always read the manufacturer's manual. The manual there is the mind of the manufacturer. He's not there when you're connecting it, but from the manual, you can read the mind of the manufacturer and know what the manufacturer needs and how to connect his device. So the next thing is that we're going to connect these ones to our charge controller. This is the charge controller and these are the cables. So we connect the positive first to the charge controller. This is the positive and we're going to connect it to this positive terminal. So when you're connecting, make sure it is firm. Tight it very firm. Yes. Then we'll now take the positive and connect together with the positive of our inverter. You can see the positive of the inverter, the positive of the charge controller. So we are going to connect them together. Oh, sorry, I mixed the heads. These bolts cannot pass, so I'm going to remove it. So always check. You can see these 13 bolts cannot pass here. So this one here is for the inverter input terminal. So you can see them. This head here, this cable lock here is bigger than this side here. So we go again. So positive of the inverter, positive of the charge controller. This is our cable. Our bolt. We're going to tie it here. Our knot. We're going to firmly tie it here. You can see it should be very strong. You can strong. Then we now take the negative. We're going to connect the negative to the charge controller. Make sure you tight it very strong. Yeah. Then use this one. We also take the negative of the inverter, the negative of the charge controller. When you want to connect this other terminal to the battery bank, it may spark. If the battery bank is fully charged, you can hear the spark there. Tie it very strong. So you can see that the charge controller is on, and the voltage of this battery, the charge controller is reading it. It is 12.6 volts, but there is no solar input. So there's no sign of solar input, and the battery is not charging.